Hey everyone, and welcome back. I know we've been off for like 2 weeks or so, but we're back. We're back. I'm not going to blame because both of us were actually at fault this time.
Yeah, that's true.
So no,
I won't be too hard on Jarrod.
Yeah,
this time.
Here we go. So it's a little unfortunate that we're doing this podcast today. I was gonna propose we do it tomorrow, but my schedule. My my nephew, it's his it was his birthday like 2 days ago, but we're going down there.
Oh, okay. So that makes sense because
because guess why I wanted to do it tomorrow?
Because of I was gonna say we should do it tomorrow because of the big Microsoft event.
Yeah, but alas I cannot, so I'm sorry guys, that's my bad. But since we were gone for 2 weeks, there's been a lot of different news.
A lot.
Yeah, that's come out. But I wanted to start because this time period, we've got everything from those PlayStation, I always forget what they're called. State of Play, I think, is what they're called. Yeah. We've got Nintendo Directs, we've got Microsoft, stuff, we've got Steam stuff, we've got announcements. And I thought it was interesting, and I wanted to start the conversation because of your favorite company you like to make fun of, which is always Nintendo. You're always poking at them. But it's I
love them, man, but they're stubborn in their ways. So.
But it's kind of funny, that we all complained when they started making the Nintendo Directs. And it's kind of funny, but the whole industry now, that's what everyone is doing. Nobody does the conferences anymore. I can't believe, dude, E3 is dead.
Yeah. The pandemic kind of slowed it down. But even before the pandemic, guys, the writing was on the wall for the E3. A lot of, companies weren't coming anymore like they used to. I think Sony dropped out, didn't they, before the pandemic, if I remember right?
Oh, man. So a bunch.
A bunch. So it was dying before, but the pandemic definitely was the nail in the coffin, which is sad. But let's be honest, this format's substantially better. Each company could do their own thing multiple times a year. E3 was basically once a year. A big event now we could have, right now Steam Summerfest is going on. Then they have their winter stuff, spring stuff, et cetera, et cetera. So it's much better, I think, for the consumer to have these multi events during the year rather than one big show. By the way, is the Tokyo Game Show still going on, or is that dead too?
I think that is, but the thing with that, and this is what I was gonna say when you were done talking. One of the major reasons why I think E3 went the way of the dodo. Number one is it got completely out of control. So, micro history lesson for everybody. Years back, the Consumer Electronics Show was where the various game companies used to do business. Then they realized really quickly we need our own sort of event because if you don't know, CES is everything. Tech-wise, software-wise, all of that. And having video games be part of that, back in the 80s, was kind of stupid. You know what I mean? In the sense, well, it wasn't stupid at the time, but it's just, very, very, very quickly when Nintendo exploded in North America, it was evident okay, we need to have our own event. Otherwise, how are we ever going to showcase our stuff amongst all the new televisions, VCRs back in the day? And
quick.
Sorry?
Talking. I'm gonna turn off the camera because I need to open up a window. It's getting toasty.
Look at the professionalism. My goodness, it's like I'm talking to Steven. But anyways, so eventually, right, E3 comes along, and I don't need to go through the whole history lesson, but away we go, right? And slowly but surely it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and the money for the booths starts getting out of control. Out of control, hundreds and hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars being poured into a booth just to basically impress the journalists and stuff like that. And that too, it stopped becoming business and started to become much more consumer focused with an emphasis on media. I loved it. You loved it. I mean,
Yeah.
we went, like how cool was that, man, back in the day?
Yeah, it was, right?
But I mean, we knew that the writing was on the wall for this. For a long time now, the writing was on the wall. Tokyo Game Show has been a little bit different because it's always been consumer faced. So they sell tickets, so they make a lot of money on that. There's like one day, I believe, before the show that's like just for the journalists and
press,
stuff. Yeah, thank you, the press. But the rest is like really like an event for fans and things like that.
That's something I think the E3 should have embraced, man. But they kind of wanted to keep it more like industry, but they eventually did that where one day or 2 days were consumers.
But it was too late. Like they would have needed to do that in the 90s if they really wanted, to. Anyway, whatever. C'est la vie. It is what it is. I think now having these controlled, targeted events is also, let's be honest, guys, like it is better in a lot of ways. It sucks the interactive part. Like I love, yelling and screaming and seeing it firsthand. Like it was super exciting. Just like the arcades back in the day, that same feeling of like we're all here, waiting for that new game to get announced or whatever. But there were also so many times where, it happens, where, there were glitches, tech demo glitches and all kinds of stuff. Anytime you have tech, be it hardware, software, it can happen, it can happen. And so like this, at least, they're not typically live, so they're pre-recorded. And so because they're pre-recorded, you get a much better show, right? Like the visual effects and stuff are a lot better. When Apple started doing that as well, right? Like now, like all their events, they're like super high tech and filmed in advance. So anyways, I wanted to give a little credit to Nintendo because they really were ahead of the curve with their Nintendo Directs.
And a lot of fans look so forward to it every time. So what? Yearly or something like that? I think it's twice a year, give or take. Or they don't really have a set.
No, yeah, they don't really have a set. They have like periods of the year where they'll do different things. Fans typically are like, oh, it's like it's February, it's March, it's whatever. But I mean, it more or less, when a direct is coming up. Sony. It's kind of funny because Sony's just have not been anywhere near as good as Nintendo's. I gotta give Nintendo credit, really. Like their directs, not all of them are amazing, but when they hit really well.
They do really good with the indie ones too, which is good.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I mean, I've got this child's birthday party thing to go to, which will be fun in its own way. But I'm going to check it out on my phone. I'm going to see the heavy rumors about that handheld. And I know
handheld, Gears of War 6, stuff like that.
Well, Gears of War 6. You think that's going to happen? Dude, Gears of War 6 was supposed to be like 3 years ago now. So I don't even we had that whole talk about their management. But this is one of the things where it's like, okay, you have no choice. If you do not show a Gears of War, if you do not talk about the future of Halo, what the hell is happening with, Rare? And I don't mean the company itself, but like they've done nothing since Sea of Thieves. They've teased that other like sort of creative game, but we've seen nothing.
Yeah, Rare. It kind of goes into the talk about like there's some news about Suicide Squad, so it kind of fits maybe into Rare. But it's kind of weird. But Suicide Squad, they're downsizing the thing since it's disastrous launch, and that was an example of they said they took a company that left their comfort zone to do new things, which I'm always for, but they didn't do a good job of it, or expectations were too high. But maybe that's director was like, look, Sea of Thieves is doing great. You just focus on that for a while instead of diluting stuff, pulling people away. So sometimes I think that's a great idea, but we don't know what's going on.
We don't know. Rare. I mean, they teased the game a number of years ago now, and then it was like they got rebooted a bit, and the last time we saw it was quite a bit different. So I'm not sure what's going on with them. Perfect Dark, they teased a follow-up years ago. This is kind of what I've been saying about the management of the Xbox division of like, guys, what the hell is happening? So tomorrow, I really sincerely hope that pardon my language here, but like, guys, get your shit together. Like, what is happening here?
And that's, also too, you could blame even not as much, but Nintendo, Sega, they too don't utilize some of their, like, when was the last time we had a great Star Fox, F-Zero? I mean, Wave Racer was a small kind of title, but even that would be awesome, modernized online. It's just like all these companies just don't utilize all their assets. Like, where's the next Skies of Arcadia? Dude, that was one of the best RPGs Sega ever made, right? Or published, or whatever it was.
Yeah, well, dude,
we have not seen a sequel since. We've had remakes, but never like Grandia, man. That series
dude.
Too.
Sega, that's a whole topic for another day. I mean, it's just not the same company, right? Like, just the RPGs you just said, you could do Grandia, you could do Skies of Arcadia, you could do Phantasy Star, like
a true Phantasy Star, not the online version yet.
But,
no disrespect, that's great games, but yeah, it's just weird, man.
Yeah, so anyway, the big thing with Microsoft that I want to see is, are we refocused? That's number one. Like, I want to come out of that video saying, like, doing another podcast next week with you and saying, okay, I feel good. Like, I feel good. They 100%. Like, I like what I saw there. Now, I'm not expecting to be like, I'm blown away by everything, but like, I want Halo to get back into a discussion. Like, they've got to get that back into a discussion. You cannot go from having one of the biggest money makers in gaming to like, no one's even talking about it. Like, I want them to at least talk about, you don't have to show me a new game, you don't have to do any of that, but to just come out and say, you know what, guys, we're refocusing. Like, we're refocusing our efforts. This is what we're doing. We've got Gears 512 coming out. We're going to focus on this, and that. And I'm really hoping that these rumors are true, that there will not be an Xbox Series X Pro.
Yeah, just focus on what they got right now, the hardware. Even though there's a lot of rumors about the handheld.
But that's the thing. So if you want to do a handheld, I just put it up there, but whatever. I was going to show like the Steam Deck. If you want to do a handheld like the Steam Deck, although major question marks there, because like, how? And that's kind of the thing that I've been wondering about, is like having a Series X, or what is it, Series S? Yeah, if they release a handheld, I'm just kind of wondering, like, what price point do they put it at? Like,
exactly. Do they want to compete with Nintendo, which would be a huge mistake, or would they want to compete? Most likely, I'm thinking they're going to compete with the Steam Deck, because that's what I think they'll be shooting for. Because let's be honest, Steam or Valve even said when they were announcing the Steam Deck, they were like, "Oh, are you going to take out Nintendo?" Like, yeah, nah. Nintendo's very successful.
So then
we're doing our own thing.
Do me a favor, okay? It's just because I don't want to touch my interface in case it glitches this. So let me know, if you go to Best Buy or Amazon or whatever, how much is an Xbox Series S and an Xbox Series X? Because you'll see where I'll go, and then open another tab and tell me how much a Steam Deck is. The OLED one, not the old one.
Okay, so Xbox Series X is $499 on Best Buy.
Okay.
And that's the 1 terabyte black console. Then there's another one, Xbox Series S.
Yeah.
1 terabyte. That's $349. So
the lower end. 350 and 500, right?
And then there's a Xbox Series S with 512 gigabytes of storage. Their lower end one, and that's $299. So if you want to go for the lower end storage, the S, that's 300, 350, 500. Now let's look at Steam Deck, right?
And you would have said it was $499, right, for the Series X?
The top end one, yes. Series X is $499, then so it starts with $350. Okay. Yeah. So the Steam Deck.
Yeah, give me the OLED. Just the lowest OLED.
Where do you see that on? It's not on Best Buy at all. Let me go
there. No. Sorry, I think it's only available on Steam.
Oh, okay. That's good.
But you should be able to just Google it. It should pop up. I think it has a dedicated storefront.
Yes. All right. So Steam Deck. There is 3 of them. All right. You want the OLEDs, right?
Yeah, yeah. Don't give me the old one. That's not fair.
All right. Yeah. So the old, we don't care about that. The middle one with 512 gig B OLED is $549. The top end one with 1 terabyte OLED is $649.
Okay. So this is my point. Okay. So this is the point that I'm trying to make here. I honestly, I don't know what they do. That's kind of what I'm getting at. Like, I legitimately do not know what they do. Do they make this a Series X portable? Because I can't see them. Look at the pricing, right? You've got this, the base Steam Deck. Again, I'm not talking about the original. The 512 model is $550, right? Yep. And a Series S is $350. Well, what if they released their handheld at $400?
Oh, that's good pricing, yeah.
Right? Especially if they put it at, so if there's the Xbox Portable, it's $399. It would probably have 512 gigabytes. I know it's not much, but if they did that, if they were able to do that, they would take a hell of a hit on each portable.
Yeah, but you know that they're notorious for doing that.
Exactly.
They know, yeah, so they're willing to play the long con. And this is actually good because if they do that, that's going to be so much pressure on the Switch 2 because Switch 2 is rumored to be $500. Who in their right mind will get an inferior system? Yeah, but then again, Nintendo is.
I wasn't even
Nintendo fans buy their systems.
I don't
right?
even want to talk about Nintendo until we know what the actual Switch 2 is and stuff like that. I'm more thinking if they're, because you can't, I just don't see them. I don't see them able to put at like 450 or 500. What, like how that'll cannibalize their Series? Like I don't.
Do you think that this is just rumors then? But there's been a lot of talks and even mock-ups, dude. I mean, mock-ups anyone can do, but...
Oh, no. What I'm saying is...
Oh, you want to know the pricing?
I wouldn't be surprised if we find out that there's a portable and it's $400 and who they're going after. They're not going after Nintendo. They're not even looking at Nintendo. What they're doing is they're looking at the Steam Deck. And they're like, okay, douchebags, you're already making money off that $550, and Steam is Steam, right? It's its own thing. It's going after its own market. But if they're able to do that, if they're like legitimately, if they're able to release this for $400, and it's got Game Pass and all that stuff, and native downloads, that's the thing. If this is some BS thing where you have to play on the cloud, forget it. Then forget that crap. If it's like the PlayStation Portable, it would be way less, right? Then it would be like $200 or something like that for just the screen, and it, like, you know, it'll play off of your Xbox, which, like I said before, like I was shocked at how much I've used my portal.
Yeah,
like, shocked.
So it kind of it would make sense for Microsoft to do that too, to kind of give more options, because let's admit, everyone knows we talk about this a lot. People talk about consoles and all that, but console PC markets pale compared to the mobile. Mobile substantially larger, makes substantial amount more money than the counterparts. So people have to realize that handheld's not a bad. Now, mobile market and like Steam Decks or even Switch is totally different, though, right?
Yeah.
Quite different gamers, but. Yeah, the whole thing is mobile is a lot of people love it, and a lot of people, they don't get PCs, desktops as much. It's either laptops or stuff. So we told you about that too. I really think it'd be a good move. And if they have the Game Pass, people have to remember that the Steam Deck is the first handheld that had literally thousands upon thousands of games at launch. Now, they're not unique titles that you could play on either or, but they still Nintendo. Sony, or even Sega, when they released their handhelds, they've never had a plethora of a library at day one. Nothing could compete to that.
And dude, like
same thing, dude.
I
so much from day one.
Yeah, like I'm playing Fallout 76 primarily on the Steam Deck. Why? Because
how does it run, by the way, you said it uses the fans a lot, or
okay. So remember, I've got the original Steam Deck, because that that 649 model here is like $800. It's a lot of money. So I never upgraded because I was like, oof, with tax and the shipping and everything, I'm like, that's going to be almost $1,000. Like, that's a lot of money. So I never upgraded. What I do is I lower the FPS to 40, and then the battery lasts for about 3 hours, which is not terrible. Like, it's not awful. And then when I'm at my desk, then obviously I'm playing on my PC and I'm totally fine. But I was thinking that I'm like, man, if Microsoft releases a portable Xbox, it's a standalone unit, meaning I can take it to a hotel and play and, stuff like that. I don't know. They could really give the Steam Deck a run for its money in certain aspects. And it's not going to replace it because it doesn't have access to Steam. Now, I know there were all those rumors of, like buying out of like Steam and all that kind of stuff. And listen, I can totally see Microsoft eventually doing this, but I think the SEC, if they do any more large purchases now, I think they're going to start to get in like hot water, right? Like if you start
because look at how the only thing about the Activision Blizzard, that's a little bit different because Steam is just literally a storefront. Yeah, they do have their own development, but they don't really develop that many games. They've had some big hits, but they're a storefront, so they're really a middleman. So would the FECC be but no matter what, I do agree they kind of have to let the water settle a little bit.
Yeah, because I think
you guys have to remember that Valve is they're a private company, so they cannot be an aggressive buyout. They have to agree to it. The rumor is Microsoft has $16 billion ready to go to buy them. I kind of think that would be an excellent move for Microsoft because they could, they're just a middleman, but. Because you have to also remember that the prices are determined by the developer, not Steam. But Steam takes, I think, a 30% cut. So Microsoft could be, we bought them and we could, now it's 35, 40% buddies. I don't know if they would ever do that. But so it could, in theory, drive prices up. But the developer, publishers set the prices, not Steam.
Yeah, I just think like the SEC and the FCC, both of them would look very closely at any more large-scale purchases in the gaming industry, only because it's like, okay, guys, you're starting to get, you control the world's largest distribution of traditional video games, right? You've got now like some like if you combine all the publishers that you own, like it's just starting to get a little
I think that's a little bit rumor say. I mean, maybe Microsoft's interested. I mean, who wouldn't? Steam's
of course,
lucrative deal, but I think that's that's deep in the barrel. I don't think it's gonna come. And you're right, just right now, especially how long the Activision deal was in court for so long. It was years, right? It was.
I think it was
took
2
a while.
years. Yeah,
2 years. That. So, and Activision said if it's not done by October, we're looking for another. We have another buyer. So yeah. We'll see. I think Microsoft needs to focus, like you said, on what they're doing right now. Don't tread the water too much, but eventually, who knows? It might happen. Business is business, guys. I mean, Valve's. That's a lot of money for them.
we were saying this before. Like, imagine. I mean, like seriously, guys. Like, no joke. Just imagine having, like a Microsoft device that had access to Steam's library.
Oh, dude!
Plus their own library.
Like, If it's true and it's a good system, it's not too bad. I probably would get. I mean, I have a Switch, but I never use it handheld. But I would probably be very
well, I'm gonna put a big box. I'm gonna put a big box around this because if they do that, if it's $400, that's mainstream appeal. At that price point, that has mainstream appeal to it. Now, if it's 500, 600, then less so. Then it's really like at that point, like we're straight up targeting, like.
Didn't they say that the interesting pricing might be more? Or I hope it's 400 or 500, like you said, less. But if it's true that the rumors of Switch 2 is 500 plus, and they target the main, like the casual.
We'll see. I don't trust any. That's why I don't want to talk about the Switch 2.
Not until we know more. We're going to get info this year, by the way.
Yes, we will.
And I think very soon, next couple months. So we will definitely have a podcast for that.
Yeah, I mean, we can do a rumors, dude. We can do a rumors thing or whatever. But right now, it's like, let's see what happens tomorrow. I'm really, really curious to see what happens tomorrow. But I stand by what I said. Like, Microsoft's really got to bring it, because now it has been too long where it's like you guys have just been doing business. But even like Hellblade 2 that came out, like, I didn't see any trailers for this. I didn't see a big marketing push. It's like, come on, guys, you've got to do better at that. Like, yeah. Because otherwise it doesn't matter if you have the most expensive DJ, the most expensive food, the greatest party in the universe. If you don't send out the invitations, nobody's going to know. Yeah, no one's going to show up. So, well, thinking of which, the new Call of Duty Black Ops 6, I believe it's called, is day one on Xbox, guys. So the Xbox Game Pass and PC users, you get that game one, which is awesome. That's a $69.99 game. Basically, that pays for your subscription for a year, basically. So, yeah, and Game Pass is going to get so much better. I mean, there's so much day one stuff coming out now. What I love about them is Microsoft gets these people in, but they don't make them be exclusive, which Epic Game Store is why a lot of backlash for them. It's like, oh, we hate that they pay for a 6 months or a year exclusive. So, yeah, at least Microsoft hasn't been doing that yet. They probably won't, I don't think. Well, it depends if they end up buying, like, Steam or whatever. They're not going to need to do anything with this. Yeah, they can do, like, whatever. For everything. Yeah, exactly. I'm telling you, man, I'm surprised Steam doesn't do a subscription-based system. But I think because Steam's more of a middleman, right? Microsoft's is like a publisher, so a little bit different. So, speaking of publishers, I think we talked about the trouble that Square Enix was in and wasn't doing so hot with certain things. I don't want to regurgitate that, but on Dragon Quest Day, so that's like every year around the summer, we have a big event, especially in Japan. Here, not so much. And it was kind of funny this year. Yuji Horii, so like the creator of the series, he basically was like, yeah, Dragon Quest 12 is, it's coming along. It's good. I don't believe a word they say because we haven't seen a damn thing now in like 3 years. Something happened with that game, but we'll find out in time. But they did post on, X, formerly Twitter, and everywhere else, a micro little video that basically was like, I think it was like The Legend Begins or something like that, and it was the Dragon Quest 3 logo. So, also the remake news. Exactly. That's been dormant for so long. Right, but a lot of rumors coming out that the reason why it was delayed is semifold. Well, that's not really English, but whatever. So, number one, true to their word, all games will be released on all platforms moving forward. So, PC, Xbox, Nintendo, and Sony platforms moving forward. So, like, wow, that's big news. Traditionally, Dragon Quest always goes with the best-selling systems, right? Yeah, no more, man. They need money. Wow. Like, they need cash. They're like, screw this. We're gonna release it on Gamecom. They're like, we don't care. Oh, wow. Interesting. Well, that is good, though. And day and date, in theory, from what they're talking about, Japan and North America, like worldwide, and Europe and everywhere else. So, good, finally, but I'll believe that when I see it. I don't quite trust that. I think they'll do that for the big games, but there's no way they're going to do it for all the niche stuff. I'll be shocked if that happens. So, that's not what the rumor is, though, because that's real. Everything I just said has been announced. So, PC, Xbox, PlayStation, and Switch will all get this game. But the rumor is that because of the marketing with the whole, the Legend Begins type of thing, and I think that's what it said, or the Quest Begins, or I think it was Legend, though. Rumors are saying it's not Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D, but that it's the entire Erdrick trilogy, which means it would be Dragon Quest 1, 2, and 3 have all been remade. So
they're going to sell it individually, I'm assuming, right?
not well. We don't know. We don't know. Like the rumor is saying no, that it's all one game that includes all three of the Erdrick like series.
Interesting, because if you think about it, they probably modernize it and extend it. Dragon Quest One really wasn't that long.
No, gosh, no. Dragon Quest One is like a
small,
4-hour game.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, exactly. So that wasn't very long. I mean, when you first played, didn't they have any guides? It probably, can you remember that one item you had to find in the middle of nowhere?
Yeah.
There was no indication on the map, and all of a sudden you have found, like, really, it just shows you the game. It's obviously they would have to improve it for modern stuff, but yeah, the first Dragon Quest wasn't that long. Dragon Quest 2 was just really hard, right? So that made it longer. You have to remember, back in the 8-bit days, the games weren't really that long. They were just freaking tough. So they would keep you having to replay levels over and over again and stuff. So yeah, Dragon Quest 3, though, I think was pretty beefy, wasn't it? Or not?
Well, Dragon Quest 3 was the beginning of like the modern era of role-playing games, right? Like I just, sorry guys, I can't remember. Like I don't remember if that was the one that include like started the whole class thing, or if it was Final Fantasy
it did, if I remember right.
I don't. Yeah, I just don't remember. I don't remember which one was the one that actually allowed you to go and change all your jobs and stuff like that. Anyway, whatever the case may be, that would be interesting. See, now that would explain why it was delayed. Because if you made 3 games instead of 1, well then okay, you are forgiven. All right, if that's truly the case. Now, if it's not the case and it's only Dragon Quest 3, then the only explanation that I have is the multi-platform release.
Yes. And that's then I wonder at this point, maybe if you're lucky, it'll be a launch title for Switch 2, but that's a little ambitious.
Dude, I won't care. Like if it's HD 2D or 2D HD or whatever the hell that thing is, who cares? I'll probably even get it on the Steam Deck or something like that. Like it won't. Like,
this is great news though, because you remember I told you that I don't have any of the PlayStation systems, and Dragon Quest 12 it come on the Switch eventually, but it didn't for a while. So yeah, I wouldn't be able to play 12 at launch if it wasn't on PC.
Oh no, I guarantee you, 12 is going to be on everything under the sun. That I can guarantee you, because these guys are now desperate for cash. So they are going to release everything on everything moving forward. And for me, that's good.
That is good, dude. The age exclusives are gone. Well,
yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, guys, guaranteed. Okay, like you can't see what's behind me, but I have a. It's basically like this is my desk. Is this piece of furniture has the old school where you put your tower inside, like that thing that would like open up like a little cabinet. Well, that cabinet doesn't house my PC. It houses Dragon Quest. It is every Dragon Quest game ever made. And then I have another bunch right beside me over here. And what's funny with that is like I can't believe that, like, in theory, I could play a Dragon Quest game at launch in my own native language at launch.
Yeah, I was going to say, you don't have to import anymore unless you just like to do it for tradition's sake.
Well, I would definitely import, because guaranteed the special editions in Japan will be outstanding compared to us, right? Like, I still say the single coolest collector's edition of all time is Dragon Quest 11. Nothing will ever beat that. When you got Erdrick's sword, the box, and you opened it up with 2 books inside, one a Nintendo 3DS game and the other one a PlayStation 4 game. Never would that happen in North America. Like, no chance. Like, the companies hate each other so much they would never allow that to happen. And I just
Sony's funny, man. Sony's making so many mistakes. It's classic.
But I think that was amazing, right? I'll never forget that unboxing. It's here on YouTube if anyone wants to watch it, and it was really, really classic. So anyway, so that's the big Dragon Quest news from like about maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks ago now. And the only other thing, like we talked all about the the different conferences and stuff like that. You wanted to touch base a little bit about the Steam sale going on right now, right?
Oh, yes. But since we're talking about Japanese developers, let's talk about other great news which ties into the Summer Fest that's going on. Capcom has finally joined the 20th century, or 21st, whatever you want to say. Guys, as y'all know, any Monster Hunter fans, and we have a Monster Hunter community too, by the way. We should have the Discord link in the description, or I can make sure Jarrod has it. Monster Hunter's on virtually every single platform, and guess what it doesn't have? Jarrod, let's say you have the PlayStation version, right? I have the Switch version. Well, guess what, Jarrod? We can never team up and hunt together because freaking Capcom's an idiot. No disrespect. No, they're just out of this. Weird. But finally, Monster Hunter Wilds, which is their next big game in the series coming out in 2025. We don't have a release date yet, but we'll definitely let you know, has crossplay. They didn't say anything about cross progression. Now, that's two different things to let people know. They get kind of confused. Crossplay means if you're on Sony, I'm on Nintendo or PC, etc., we could play together. Perfect. Cross progression is a totally different thing. Is, let's say if it was cross progression, I could play on Switch, I could play on PC, and my characters would be on both. That's not. They didn't say anything about that, so we're not getting a huge uproar, but at least we're getting crossplay, which is the fans' number one request, and I'm really looking forward to that because there are people I can't play with because we're not on the same platform. So that's a thing of the past.
Dude, I gotta say, ever since my Steam Deck, ever since I played that, it is so hard for me now to go and play anything else because of that, because of what you're just saying about, like, not the cross play necessarily, while I love that, like with Diablo, for example, doesn't matter where you're playing, you can play with everybody, love that. But for me, it's the progression thing. Like, I love that I can grab my Steam Deck, log into Fallout 76 and just play. Like, just play.
On either platform. And I tell you, some games have it, like Witcher 3 on the Switch is cross progression, so you could play on the go, level up your character, go back to your desktop, and continue your adventure. So I wish more games had that. Now, obviously, that requires more servers, infrastructure. Yeah, exactly. So not every, small indie companies are never going to be able to keep it.
Yeah,
Capcom
dude,
is not indie, dude. They're a big publisher. There's no excuse.
But what I don't understand is there's got to be a middleman. There's got to be a service out there.
Oh yeah, there is. Yeah, there has to. Or if there isn't, they should get on the ball.
No kidding.
About the ASAP. But
yeah, because
I know Microsoft has it with the Azure or whatever it's called.
Exactly.
But yeah, there is. It's just I don't know. It's just cost, I think. Maybe. And another thing too, I think we've talked about it many times. Japanese markets, or they're obviously a Japanese company. But they seem more focused on other markets. They're a little bit different. I hear that Japanese online's not as popular as is in the West, so that could be another factor of why a lot of these Japanese. Because Japan used to be ahead of the game in a lot of ways, but now they're kind of falling behind in terms of they're getting better, but they're not. It's so tedious, like the Monster Hunter thing, to get friend codes and stuff like that just to get into the same lobby. You got to get a lobby ID. Steam, I could go Steam, invite Jarrod to game, bam, you come on in. That's it. It's so easy, fully integrated. Epic is the same thing too. But it's just weird
because, like, honestly, guys, it is so damn convenient. It is just so convenient to be like, I just literally can boot up my PC right now. It'll like sync with the cloud and away we go. Right?
Yep.
And I know Microsoft was going to do the exact same thing. They're going to do the exact same, because almost all their games now are doing that. You can play them on Xbox Series X on your TV, go back to your computer, and just pick up right away. It'll do the same thing. It'll just load the save. It'll say, oh, you have a cloud save that's newer than the one that's on your PC. Do you want to sync? Say yes. Done. And if they have a portable, I guarantee you they're going to do the exact same thing where it'll sync and then
100%.
Then you're good to go. And now that is just damn cool. Like it's just damn cool to be able to do that and sync everything across every other platform, and away we go. And I really do hope that there is like this third party that can provide that service. So you compile your game, you do all your stuff, you have your different versions that you're releasing, and your save file gets put into this service, and then that's it. And then every version of the game, because sometimes, I'll play on the Steam Deck and then I want to continue on my Switch or whatever, or from the Switch to the PlayStation or Xbox to PlayStation or whatever, any mix and match. Like, we're getting to that point where why can't you?
100%, yeah.
Like, it makes no sense. So anyways, tell us about Steam.
So right now the Summer Game Fest is going on. It started on Friday, so there's a lot of announcements. Let's cover some of the big ones. We're not going to cover everything. There's a lot. Power World's getting an update. So we'll actually have this link so you guys could have it directly in there. But so Power World has a big update coming up. This is another one. Very good game. Kingdom Come Deliverance. If you guys know that game, very good game. Highly recommend it. Part 2's coming up. Tears of Metal. Sid Meier's Civilization 7 is officially announced. So, and it's coming on all platforms, including the Switch. So that kind of makes me wonder. We haven't seen gameplay at all, guys, but that kind of makes me, if it is Nintendo actually had it on their official YouTube, so it's not just Sid Meier's announcement as well. So that means because a lot of people didn't like Civ 6 visuals because they thought it was too cartoony, etc., etc. I don't mind them. I thought they were good. So are they gonna go with Civ 7? Is it gonna be more of that cartoony kind of lower end? Not terms lower end, but a little bit less visuals. Because if it's on Switch, then that means it's gonna have to be lower end tier. So it's gonna be interesting to see Civ 7. Maybe the Nintendo one will just be like very low end polygons, and the PC and other platforms will be much better. So yeah, we'll definitely be covering more Civ 7. Really excited for that. A really good series. Another we got is Delta Force Hawk Ops. Looks like they're gearing up for their stuff. So that's a great multiplayer game I'm looking forward to. That's Power Rangers. And dude, there's a lot of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. It's a kind of old 80s, 90s kind of like Turtles in Time type game. So if you like those arcade beat 'em up, you guys will definitely like that. We have Battle Crush. So let's keep. Dune Awakening showed some gameplay. A huge MMO coming out that we're really looking forward to. Another big announcement is No Room in Hell 2. If you guys are big fans of that, it's 8-player co-op. Can't wait. Hopefully we get Jarrod to play. I think something he'd really, really enjoy. Let's look up. You remember this series, Jarrod? Fatal Fury. Remember that?
Yeah.
That's coming up with a new one. Windows our City of the Wolves, so we're coming.
Yeah,
that's coming.
Yeah. You didn't see that. My only disappointment with that is, and it's a personal preference. Relax, everybody. Relax.
Oh, here we go, guys.
No, I miss their sprite work. That's all.
Yeah, that's a personal thing. No knock off to the new ones, but that's definitely.
No, it's dude. Did you see KOF 13? To this day, I think it's the most beautiful fighting game ever made. Like, it is stunning, man. And I mean, I know why they did it. They're trying to appease to the larger audience today, but I miss it. Like, Mark of the Wolves, man, on the Neo Geo. To this day, I've got the cart over there. I paid, you don't want to know how much. Back in the day, I paid I think $500 for it when it was new. Because it's an arcade game, right? And yeah, man, I don't know, I just missed it. So when I saw the trailer, I was excited, but I'm also, I was like, oh man, it would be so sick.
This doesn't have necessarily. I don't know if it was announced in Steam Fest. I think it was the Summerfest. Metal Slug. Remember that series? Tactics is coming out 4th quarter. That I cannot wait for.
Okay,
Did
wait,
you see the sprites?
Hold up. Whoa. I didn't hear about that.
Oh, here, let me link you on Discord,
Metal
my friend.
Slug Tactics?
Yes.
Because that used to be
right there, buddy.
It used to be a Japanese, well, I think it was Japanese phone game.
So let me know what you think of while you're looking. I'll cover up some more. So we also have coming up, and you can pre-purchase right now, Sonic X Shadow Generations is coming on the PC. It's a 3D game, so if you're a Sonic fan, you'll definitely probably enjoy that. the finals. We also have, of course, the Monster Hunter Wilds information, and a really kind of big news, especially for Amazon Gaming, is New World in October. I think 12th is coming for PlayStation, Xbox, New World. So their MMOs. There's been a rumor for that for a while. It's finally coming to the consoles, and that might bring in. The games compared to its launch, it's been a lot of, ups and downs, but that's going to breathe new life into the game because New World as an MMO is actually really cool until you get to the end game. The end game is just a big mess. They never seem to. They're trying to improve it, but it's just an endless, mindless, boring grind. But from level 1 to 60 is, I recommend, especially if you're a MMO fan. I love its combat system. I know some people think it's a little bit too simple because you only get 3 skills per weapon, but it's action oriented, very fast, and I love it. It's a lot more modern compared to the old tab targeting of like Warcraft, Final Fantasy, etc. Oh, also Space Marines 2. Jarrod, you have to get that. Are you a Warhammer fan, by the way, or no?
Never. Okay, I like Warhammer, but I've never been like a hardcore fan. But it's a good series. It's a damn good series.
Oh yeah. It's a 40K Space Marine 2.
Yeah.
It's gonna be PvP, PvE co-op, and I hope we get to play it too, because I think that would be an excellent series for YouTube, because it's such a unique franchise with tons of huge, passionate fanboys out there. I mean, you're talking about fanboys.
I know.
Those are some of the hardcore ones. So yeah, it'd be awesome to be able to play with you, and really looking forward to that. That comes out in September. But so there's some others, a lot. We'll have the link, guys. There's a tons more.
Always.
What's it called? Stuff as well. We're just kind of covering the big ones that made the biggest noise. Oh, there's also Dragon Ball Sparkling Zero. So there's a new fighting game coming out, 3D fighter. So it's going to be a lot of fun if you're a Dragon Ball Z Unknown 9 Awakening looks great. That's coming. And Dark and Darker, I think I've already said, is now on Steam, and it is free to play. It is a medieval, kind of like Dungeons and Dragons type lore setting, wizards and stuff like that. Extraction shooter, I guess you could call it. So I don't know if you guys are not familiar. It's a dungeon crawler by definition, but basically you go in there either by yourself or the party, and you have to, get loot, find loot, and escape. But the thing is, there's other people doing exactly the same thing in those dungeons, and they can kill you. So if they kill you, you get everything that's on your body. That's the whole extraction shooter element to it, is you're never really safe. And so if you go in there alone, you're going to probably have a tough time. But it's pretty more of a hardcore type game. I mean, it could be casual friendly. Oh, another big news too is Once Human, which is like a 7 Days to Die. But I'm really looking forward to Once Human. I think Jarrod probably like that as well. And then there's like Mecha Break, which looks very interesting, guys.
You're going to be here for an hour listing off.
Yeah, we're going to be here tons of stuff. So we'll have the link. I'll give it to Jarrod so he can put it in there. We're covering the big one. But what do you think about the New World announcement that thing came through? I think that's going to be good for the game.
There's so much crap, man. I haven't had a time. Like, honestly, I have had no time to look over any of this stuff. There's so much stuff.
Yeah,
there's no, but it's good. Honestly, it's good. Like, I'll take a look. Well, shoot me. Don't forget. Shoot me the link, because otherwise I'm gonna forget to put it in.
Yeah, I put it on Discord, by the way.
So. Okay, perfect.
And I think that's pretty much it for today. We will be back next week for sure, because we have to cover the. I wish we could have done this tomorrow, but unfortunately the stars didn't align. Because we will be talking about the big event. I don't think we can meet during the week, unfortunately, because of time zone issue. By the time I get home, it's way too late for Jarrod. Lazy bum wants sleep.
No, it's not even, dude. It's not even sleep. It's more the fact that like I'm constantly working because of the company there and stuff. So, but no. So I like that. Let's leave this off here, and then I'll get this one online, and then next week we'll be back with the Microsoft news. It's going to be interesting, guys. I'm really looking forward to next week's podcast. This is going to be most interesting.
Let's hope we have some good stuff. And the handheld price that I'm be really interested in as well. So,
all right, everyone. Take care.
Take care.